Servus, ich bin's, Basti.
Hola, yo soy Jess, and together we are the
Braumandl! I had to say it this time.
Braumandl.
Yeah.
So, welcome to our first episode 1.
What is it, a 2 right now?
You said what?
Yeah, you did it like this.
It's an
So
episode.
episode 1.
On today's video, we're gonna talk about on how we met and basically the whole journey until now.
That's correct.
So, I think
I think
this
I,
video belongs to him.
I think I have to start right now. I mean, it belongs to me, the first part of the story. After that, you have to say something. So the story begins there, that I actually planned to go to Thailand and actually not go to LA.
Wait, what? So this one you would have been probably married with some Thai-ish girl? Whatever.
My best friend, he couldn't make it to Thailand, so he had to bail on that trip. So I had to ask another friend if we had time to go to LA, because we also have a friend who lives in LA, in Anaheim. And we asked him if we can visit him in, when was it? May?
May.
It was May. And yeah, he said, of course, mi casa, su casa. That's the reason why we said, okay, let's book the flight to LA.
By that time, I was in school. I was just partying. I had moved from San Diego to LA. So it was kind of like, yay, no parents. Sorry, parents, if you guys are watching. So, viviendo la vida loca, you know? Basically, I met him because at that point, the friend he knew that lived in Anaheim, he was dating one of my friends. So that friend, when him and our other friend arrived to LA, she was like, hey Jess, my boyfriend invited two German guys, and since he doesn't have any time to hang out with them, I'm the one being the tour guide, so let's, join me and let's go out with them, and let's take them here, let's take them there. And I was like, bro, no, I don't like that.
What? I thought you were excited to meet us.
No, it wasn't. At that point, I was dating other guys. I was just, like I said, living la vida loca. So I was like, man, why? Like, no. And she said Germans. And at that point, I wasn't interested in blonde, blue eye. And at that point, he had none of this, okay?
And tall guys.
And yeah, exactly. Tall guys. That was my style, was tall guys, Latinos-ish, a little more color, a little more flavor.
I also have some color. Sometimes I'm getting red.
Yes. So I was like, no, I'm not interested. And she probably, if I can count right, it was about 4 to 5 times that she kept like, hey, we're gonna go here, can you come? And I was like, no. Or I would say yes, and then like 2 hours before I would be like, you know what, I have to do this, I have to do that, blah blah blah. Anyways, there was a time that she decided to invite me and another friend to have sushi. And we're like, yeah, let's have a girls dinner or whatever. And then what I come up to is,
Ta-da!
we didn't know they were inviting them. And I guess he did know, or he did knew that they were coming to meet us. So for us, it was a surprise. But it was a surprise, but it was those moments that you don't even talk to them, but the feeling they give you, like the feeling I got back was like, hey, I want to know this guys. Like, they seem pretty cool. It felt like I knew them. So I was like, why not enjoy the dinner and just have fun? So we proceed to sit down, of course. And I'm sitting actually here, basically like looking at each other, and he's like on that side, on the corner. this little weirdo just looking at me. So I'm like, chatting with my girls, like, hey, like, why is he looking at me, And at that point, he only knew like 3 words in English, and they were all like, didn't make sense if you put them together. So I was like, okay, whatever. But somehow, his friend was translating the whole night, basically.
He was translating the whole vacation.
The whole vacation, yeah. But now he has perfect English.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First compliment.
Anywho, so he managed to ask for my number. Only my number. Like, why not my other friend?
Well, they were taken, and they were not my type.
So we text that we leave, and we text that night almost like the whole night. And I'm like, okay, well, this kid, like, whatever. But because we had a good conversation, I was like, you know what? These days I have off. If you guys wanna hang out, let me know. But then he was actually leaving to Vegas for, I don't know, 2-3 days.
It was 3 days. We planned actually to have 2 days in Vegas, but then we liked it so much that we actually stayed 1 more day.
While he was in Vegas, I received a text message where he asked me to go out for dinner. But me thinking like, okay, well, his friend is here. Like, where do you guys want to go? And his reply is word by word, like literally like quoting it. He's like, well, when I ask a girl in Germany that is for dinner, that is called a date. I was like, excuse me. And guess where we go? Back to sushi. Well, not the same place, but we go back to sushi. And this is where things get interesting because he doesn't know any English. I don't know any word in German. And, we start playing charades the whole night, trying to see how we can understand each other. And we're having a good time. We're like, after dinner, we're like, hey, let's go watch a movie. And then he tells me like, okay, yeah, we can watch a movie. Or also we can go watch a movie at my friend's house where he was staying, or I think where he was staying. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, doesn't sound like a bad idea. Let's go. So we get there, and all of a sudden, this house, so I go into this house, is basically almost like there's no light. And then
Well, there were candles. There were some
candles. You
candles.
just interrupted me, and like the story is completely bad.
Sorry.
So there's almost no light. But then I open this door, and it's like this, I don't know, like jungle-ish looking type environment room with a heart bed, like a heart-shaped bed, and movies and candles. And I literally look at him and I'm like, okay, we're watching a movie here. And he was full on red. Like,
yeah, I told you I can also have different colors. I showed you on that night.
Like a freaking tomato. And I'm thinking here, like, what is this guy thinking? Like, okay. And I guess he saw my expression and he was like, oh my God, to be honest, I don't know. Like, I didn't plan this. Like, this is all planned for my friend as far as like the decoration wise. If you feel uncomfortable, we can leave. And I give it a few, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine. We can sit on the bed and watch a movie. But why did we watch a movie? It was lame, right?
No, we watched the movie, but
we finished the movie?
No, we didn't finish the movie. The movie was more than 3 hours long. So after 1 hour, we said, okay, let's talk outside. Or we tried to talk outside.
Yeah. We go outside and then continue playing charades on how we're going to understand each other. And yeah, so I go back home, and then we keep seeing each other with his friend and our friends for a couple of more days. And then I decide to ask a few of my friends, with like, hey, there are these German guys here. Why don't we go to Fullerton and party? And they were like, yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, people who don't know Fullerton is a city in the lovely state of California, and that's where I used to go to school. So it was a really cute district of bars and little lounges. So we're like, yeah, let's go party there. So we party, and that's where we give each other our first kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then the next day, it's actually after that, he has to go back home. So I think we stayed up the whole night. I took him and his friend to the airport, and he was really emotional, like super emotional. And he was like, I don't want to leave you. And being honest, and he knows this, I was kind of like, okay, well, for me, it was like a little vacay fling. I have my life here. You have your life in Germany. Good time. Peace out. Have a good life. Bye.
What?
I like go back home and I'm like, okay, this was cool. Bye. You know, whatever. I had no like intentions of continuing this. And as soon as he gets, of course, I want to know if he gets there safe, right? So as soon as he gets there, the first thing he goes is straight to a freaking library and buys English books.
Mm-hmm. And I start learning English.
He starts learning English. We Skype, we start Skyping every single day almost, or texting, calling each other. Nights after, talking and everything, he's like, hey, like, are we gonna make this real or what? Like, are we gonna start a relationship? So I was like, all right, F it, let's do it. Yeah, so he's like, you know what, I'm booking a flight, I'm having vacation, I'm going to go see you. So that was the end of May, that's when I believe, or middle of May, when I stopped seeing him, or where he left back to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back in
September for 1 month.
In September, yeah, for a month.
Then you came in December for 2 weeks.
Yes, and then I came December, and then the following year, he came a couple more times, like 2 more times.
2 more times, yeah. And
yeah, so we were engaged. I remember that was really funny. I call my mom and I tell her in Spanish, estoy comprometida, I'm engaged. And the first thing she tells me, oh, and what did you got yourself into? Like, what type of like business are you trying to get out of? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm engaged. So I have to tell her in English, like, I'm engaged, like a ring on my finger. And then she starts screaming like crazy, like, what? In that period of time, I didn't saw him, like, I think for 6 months. Yeah, he left in July. He didn't came back until December. But by that time, we were planning everything for a wedding. So we set a date from basically almost a year from now, or a little bit more than a year. So we got married. Which day we got married?
August 6th.
And then which day we got married again?
September 10th.
Yeah, so August 6th we got married. Paper and everything. Paper wise. And on September 10th, it was our big wedding, church ceremony and the big reception, full on family. Lived in the US for around 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years.
3 years.
We had a very good time over there.
Yeah, and in that time, eventually you guys will meet her, but we have now a beautiful 2-year-old toddler. Her name is Mia, and you guys will see her eventually in our videos. Why not give it a chance and move to Munich? So now we're here.
Here we are.
And now the journey continues.
Since I didn't talk so much in that video, I'm getting the honor to tell you that right now. Thank you so much that you watched the video. And if you liked it, you can give us a thumb up below the video. And you can follow us on Instagram. I will send the link below the video or in our comment section. And I'll give you soon updates about the Spotify and also the iTunes account when we will launch those 2 accounts.
See you guys again, and see you guys in our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.